Mic check, mic check, mic check. All right, so I think the endeavor for this year is that we're doing a little bit of live classes every now and then, and hopefully, I should not. There are so many things that I still do not understand about streams, but maybe I think this looks nice. Okay, I think this is enough of time for us to just start with the. Okay, so I'll tell you about the stream. The initial part will be trimmed out for everyone, looking at it on a recorded basis. This is going to be problem solving, and as much as I can, I'll try to do these streams as frequently as I can for this year. Agenda would be simple. We'll be discussing decent questions for the CAT, be it questions from different mock test series, PYQ questions, actual CAT questions, just to brainstorm. So there are a couple of questions with me that I have kept just to, let's say, having, I mean, just to have a general sense of where we are going. So I'm going to be starting with this question, because we are not going to be solving everything. And through these questions, the idea would be to discuss as many theory as there could be. So in this question, typically what they are saying is that there is a post office that has stamps of different denomination, which means 1 rupee stamp, 3 rupee stamp, 7 rupee stamp. Now they're asking a simple question: which of the following totals cannot be achieved by buying exactly 100 stamps? So if there are different type of stamps. I can call it stamp number 1, I can call it stamp of type 2, I can call it stamp of type 3, and obviously these are 1 rupee ka, 3 rupee ka, and 7 rupee ka. Point is, I don't know which order, but I know that I am buying many stamps. That this is going to be 100th stamp in whatever order. Which of the following totals cannot be achieved by buying 100 stamps? This question seems, in the first glance, it may seem difficult to someone, purely out of the fact that if you're not well versed with the idea of odd even parity of numbers, how basically odd numbers behave when they are added in a string, how even number behave when they are added in a string. So if you are aware of that concept, it is not very difficult. So I would just like to give a little bit of brief on this, and then probably we can solve this question in a jiffy. So if I have a situation like even number plus even number plus even number, I mean, you can take numbers also 2, 4, and 6. You will see eventually the total sum that I will get. I'm calling it I'm just indicating it with the sigma sign. So you will see invariably, as long as the numbers themselves are even, the summation is always going to be even. 2 plus 4, that is like, I'm just taking two cases, just two even numbers. Now also I'm getting an even number. However, this thing is a little different when there is a case of odd numbers. So the first point that we have understood is that if we are adding even numbers, the summation will always be an even number. Now, what that summation is, we don't care about that, but the summation is going to be an even number. The second part of this problem is that what about odd numbers? So suppose I have odd plus odd plus odd. Let's do it. So 1, 3, and 5, ekdam simple numbers. Let's do it and see what this is. So this is 5, 3, 8, and 9. So the summation over here is 9. Now this is an odd number. So can we predict at this point that when we add string of odd numbers, the end, let's say, result is always going to be odd? Is there some sort of a claims that we can make through that? I mean, let's let's see another case. So suppose this is case number one. The other case could be odd plus just odd, or maybe odd plus odd plus odd plus odd. And by now you may have realized the total number of odds that I'm picking. So the total number of odds that I'm picking right now is even. Number of odds is even. Odd numbers is even. So let's do 1, 3, 5, and 7. So this is 7 and 3, 10, 5 and 1, 6. That is 16. So the summation for this case come out to be 16. Now this is an even number. Strange. Let's check this once again. Suppose I just have two numbers. Okay, just two odd numbers, odd plus odd. So 1 plus 3, 4, that is even. So what I have realized that there is some trend, general trend, that is there in the case of an odd number when I am trying to add them on a string fashion. And let me try to elaborate that properly now. So that would be something like this. As long as I have numbers that I am adding, the end summation is always going, we can always predict the nature of the end goal or the summation at the end of the entire string based on the number of odds present. So suppose I have even plus even plus even plus odd plus odd plus odd plus, let's say, even, and I just need to know the nature of the summation. That means nature of summation basically, is it an even number or an odd number? Okay. And if we have understood anything from our discussion, even number is definitely something not that we consider. We are only considering the odd numbers. So practically we don't even consider while adding, just for the nature of the even numbers. Odd numbers may also the number of odds. So right now it is the number of odd numbers is 3, which is an odd number. So we can predict it is obviously going to be an odd number. Similarly, instead, if I had just two odd numbers, then the summation would have been an even number, because the number of odds are even. Now that is basically a thing that we have generalized. Now what else can I do? Let's see the question and let's try to understand. The question says that what is the total, which of the following cannot be the total achieved by buying 100 stamps? Now if you look at this question and if you try to understand this question through this logic, you'll realize that the stamps are all odd numbers effectively. Okay, and the number of odd numbers, you can see there are total 100 stamps that I am buying. So total number of odd numbers that there are is even. So the end goal, the total summation at the end of the calculation will invariably be an even number. Now what that will be, I don't know. Right, it will be dependent on many things. Now, which particular stamp you are buying, 7 how many times you are buying, 3 how many times you are buying. Now that is a different scenario. The point that I'm trying to make, the summation will always be an even number based on this logic. It can never be an odd number. So out of all the options that I can see, there is only one that is odd which cannot be the total, hence it has to be my answer. This is an interesting question. All right. Radion is saying hello, brother. Hello. If Radion, you are still watching, hello to you. Okay. I don't know if you are student or you are, I don't know. Right. I think my stream is fine now. I'll just check once if my audio and all is fine. Hmm. Chaliye. I think we can do one more question before we go to the. I'm a student. I follow your videos. Nice, Radion, brother. Kudos to you. Do keep on following the videos. Like, right? If you're looking for any suggestions, any guidance, you can get in touch with me. राइट थोड़ा प्लग इन कर सकते हैं भाई यार, अपना चैनल है, थोड़ा प्रमोशन भी कोई कर नहीं रहा तो खुद को ही प्रमोट करना पड़ेगा, है ना. एनीवेज, लेट्स गो एंड चेक आउट सम अदर गुड क्वेश्चंस, राइट. सो this also seems like these are applications of factorization. These are GCD LCM type questions, GCD HCF LCM, very good questions. And obviously we don't have the time to solve all the questions today because I want to keep the stream a little short, like 20 minutes. So I'll try to keep lesser number of questions just to like tell you guys that these are also the kind of questions that you can solve in the domain of number system. So which one should we pick? Shall we start? Let's start with the first question itself क्योंकि थोड़ा सा basic हो जाएगा. So the first question says that find the least number which leaves a remainder of 1 when divided by 18 or 24 or 30. Now, for somebody who has been practicing for aptitude exams would realize that these are standard questions. Okay, somebody who is just a beginner, who's a newbie, they might find like how to go about these type of questions, but these are very standard questions. There is nothing, let's say, um, different. There is nothing unique about such questions. So what I need to understand is that I need to find a least number that leaves a remainder of 1 upon dividing by 18 or 24 or 30. Now I need to make some understanding of what that least number could be. I mean, I can give again some uh, background information on that, but I don't think that would be necessary. So okay, so I will just zoom this out a little bit. Okay, so there has to be some number n which when divided by 18 leaves out a remainder of 1. Yes, I wanted some guidance. One in SC category student, 23 pass out. 94 currently working as a marketing executive of master lead target, need guidance. हाँ मतलब ठीक है, एससी में तो देखो कैटेगरी स्टूडेंट तो मैं तो यही बोलूँगा दैट यू हैव अ वेरी गुड, देखो नॉन इंजीनियर हो वहाँ पे मिल जाएगा, यू कैन गेट सम ग्रेस पॉइंट्स ओवर देयर, और कैटेगरी से भी यू विल गेट सम ग्रेस पॉइंट. तो मतलब पढ़ाई करो यार, लाइक एक अच्छा शॉर्टलिस्ट लेने की कोशिश करो कैट में. यू कैन फाइंड एफएमएस भी मिल सकता है, अच्छे आईएम्स भी मिल सकता है. मेरे को ये चीज़ थोड़ा सा अजीब लगता है यार, स्टूडेंट्स, आई डोंट नो, ठीक है एफएमएस इज़ अ वेरी गुड कॉलेज, ऐसा नहीं है, फैकल्टी मैनेजमेंट स्टडीज़ बहुत तगड़ा कॉलेज है, बट आईएम्स भी टारगेट करिए, लाइक क्योंकि पैसा वैसा का मत सोचो. अगर ये सोच रहे हो कि यार 30 लाख रुपए नहीं देने हैं तो बैंक्स फाइनेंस करेगा मस्त. खाली पढ़ाई करो, अच्छा स्कोर लेके आओ, और अकेड्स भी ठीक ठाक है, पास आउट 23 पास आउट में है वो, अच्छा अकेड्स भी है, काम कर रहे हो तो अच्छी बात है, पढ़ाई करिए और क्या. हाँ, एलसीएम ऑफ द नंबर +1. एग्जैक्टली, आई मीन, that's exactly what is it. So the three numbers, but I still will have to explain it because it's a stream, so I'll just take my good time. The same number when gets divided by 24 should leave a remainder of 1, and similarly the same number when gets divided by 30 should leave a remainder of 1, right? Interesting. Now, the number n, this number n is very much same as this number n, it's very much same as this number n. And the representation of this n for the first part could be something like 18k plus 1, second one could be 24m plus 1, and 30, let's say p plus 1. Now, this is a little bit interesting because if you know this idea, then it becomes more crystal clear in your head that what we are doing. If you have studied these things in your classes and your faculties have just told you कि यार देख इस तरह का नंबर है और मैं गिवन है LCM plus 1 करके आगे निकल जाओ, that is I think very surface level का thinking. What I want you to do, क्योंकि जब Chinese remainder theorem discuss करेंगे तो we need to equalize these type of numbers. Although right now we are not equalizing it, but still this will make some sense. So ठीक है, basically what is that least number that will when get divided by uh, uh, that will leave a remainder of 1 when gets divided by this 18 or 24 or 30. Hmm. Hmm. I should have said one more thing, that is like the division algorithm, थोड़ा सा वो भी यहाँ पे I should have added कि बट इतना बताना चाहिए क्या या सीधा सॉल्व करके आगे निकल जाना चाहिए. आई थिंक थोड़ा सा डिवीजन एल्गोरिदम डिस्कस कर लेता है, उसके बाद वी कैन. So for this question itself, dividend, okay, let's do this. So 5 when gets divided by 2. Now, couple of things. This is my dividend. This one is my divisor. This one is my quotient. And this one is my remainder. So, point being, if I need the algorithm or the division lemma says that a number n will be dividend is equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Now I'm just trying to understand the situation like this, that n is the dividend, d is the divisor, q quotient, r remainder. Okay, we can also use, instead of the divisor being d, I can also use pq. Q always will represent quotient. So dividend and divisor is an interesting thing. So now with this logic, if we have understood the fact that the numbers which we were discussing, जो मैंने पहले लिखा था, n by 18, n by 24, n by 30, now I think you guys will be able to understand that 18q plus 1 could be that number. 24, let's say x plus 1 could be that number. And 30y plus 1 will be that number. In all the cases, 1 is remainder and these are your other these things. Okay. Now what can be the number? Obviously I need the least number, so I need a number that actually gets if if n is equals to these numbers, okay, now understand this. This is now it will start making sense. कि LCM plus 1 क्यों करता है. If the number n is represented by this equation 18q plus 1, definitely when I divide n by 18, the remainder is 1. So this is not a factor. If I need to make it a factor, मैं सिर्फ 1 minus करूंगा इसमें से. As a matter of fact, if I subtract n, rather if I subtract 1 from n, all of this becomes nothing but factors. Now the question just, हमने क्या किया, हमने क्वेश्चन को ही पूरा घुमा दिया. हमने क्वेश्चन को ये कर दिया है कि फाइंड द लीस्ट नंबर विच divides all these numbers. So basically this is the remainder, sorry, remainder, this is the LCM of question, the LCM of the numbers, right, which divides, which leaves the remainder of 0. क्योंकि अब ये जो है 18q 24x and 30y, now this will be completely dividing the number n, because these are all factors. now हमने 1 minus कर दिया n से, and this is when you should be applying the logic of your LCM 18, 24 and 30. So if I take 6 common, 6, 3, 4, 5, I think this should be it. So this is how much? This is 20, this is 18. So the answer, yes, the answer is going to be 360 plus 1, because the number में से हमने 1 निकाल दिया था, तो number will be, LCM is 360 mind you, ठीक है, LCM is 360, but the number is not 360 which will leave a remainder 1, remember. So the number is going to be 361. इतना बोलना नहीं चाहिए था मुझे, but I still did all this just to give some clarification to the students who are maybe not very good with numbers, or maybe the ones who are just starting out numbers, the ones who have not, you know, let's say studied numbers anywhere. So this is one of the ways which we could have solved it. Which is the next question that we should be trying, and that should be, I think that will be the last question, because I think I have some class to take at exactly 10, so I'll be preparing for 10 minutes, and then which next question should we take? Find the least number which leaves the remainder of, let's do this one. I'll zoom in. I think okay, let's do this one, the largest 3-digit number, this one. Let's do this one. Okay, find the largest 3-digit number which leaves the remainder 2 when divided by 14 or 35. Okay, so how do we do this? The largest 3-digit number, and that too has to leave a remainder of 2. Now, what type of a number that will be? Obviously, I don't need to give you guys time, whoever is looking at this video in a recorded form, because you can always pause the video and try it. But since it's a live stream, I think I should just pause for like 10 seconds. Okay, chaliye. So there is a number. I don't know what number that is. When the number is divided by 14, that number leaves out a remainder 2. Similarly, the number when gets divided by 35, it leaves out a remainder of 2. And n has to be the largest 3-digit number. Okay. So how can we make some sense of it? So the first thing that comes to my mind is that representation of this number that encapsulate 14 as well as 35. Okay. So the best thing, I mean, I have this problem that people generally start by trial and error. That's not also bad. If you have a trial and error thing happening, that's also not bad. If you can, let's say, ascertain the number through trial and error, that's also very good, right? But मैं कह रहा हूँ कि the least number, sorry, the largest number, that to 3-digit number, the largest 3-digit number will be of the form 999, obviously. Now, what is the next largest 3-digit number that will get absolutely by that will absolutely get divided by both of these two numbers? Obviously, that has to be the LCM of these two numbers. Since we are not looking at a number that gets divided absolutely, तब तो factor होगा. We need a remainder of 2 also. So then, with that logic, the logic से approach करेंगे तो it becomes very easy. So this is what 7 into 2 into 5. So this is how much? 70, right? 70. Effectively, the number that I'm looking out is of the form 70k plus 2. ठीक है, अब यहाँ तक करने के बाद यहाँ तक समझ में आ गया है, और लार्जेस्ट नंबर हमको 999 के आसपास का चाहिए, तो कैसे निकालेंगे? टेबल्स अगर याद है, then it will become very easy. 14 into 7s are 98. So 14 into 70s are 980. ठीक है? So, and I know that if I go any further, 15 into 7 कर दे अगर, तो that becomes a 105. So 15 into 70 would be 1050. That is going, sorry, can't see it. Yeah. So it will be 1050. Obviously हमारे रेंज के बाहर चला गया 3-digit numbers के, तो what I will do is I'll restrict myself to 14. So the number is going to be obviously 982. That is the largest number, which when gets divided by either 14 or 35 will leave out a remainder of 2. So this is your answer to this question. This is how basically we can break down the question and try to understand without like we are not following any template, we are not following any formulas as such. We're just trying to break the question into whatever we have learned, and that's basically what I try to do. These are actually very good questions. I'll just keep it at that. You can take a screenshot, you can try these questions, you can, you know, you can find your answers in yeah. So yeah, you can try these questions, and you can get in touch with me for answers, or maybe if a simple Google search will give you the answer, so that's not going to be any problematic situation. I have a question which, although may seem easy to the people who are again studying decently for your aptitude exam, but may be a little challenging to somebody who is, let's say, a newbie or someone like this. So this says a simple question: when a number is divided by 15, the quotient is an odd number. So I'm not going to solve it. I'm not going to solve it. I'm just trying to keep this question as a kind of a referral homework for anybody who cares to listen to me, or anybody who would want to watch to the recording. So a number when gets divided by 15, quotient is an odd number, remainder is 1. We will use the equation. Yes. Hi, we can use the equation. Actually, the fact is कि we will have to use the equation. Equation कहो या फिर you can call the division lemma. Remainder, there is only one, na, Euclid's division lemma, dividend, divisor, quotient, remainder. So that is basically the idea. It says कि quotient is an odd number and remainder is 1. What will be the remainder when it gets divided by 30? It's actually a very easy question if you just plug in the value. The moment you plug in the value, you'll get the answer. Yes, d is equal to dq plus r. N is equal to, I like to write it like n equal to pq plus r. D is equal to dq plus r is also fine. No problems as such. So yeah, I think the answer is simple. I would not give the solution. I'll just write the answer. Okay. So this is the answer. I'm not giving the solution. Probably you can try this out on your own. And if seems difficult, obviously a simple Google search will give an answer. So that's it. So chalo, bye. I think it's almost 30 minutes. Bye.